Good evening and welcome. This is Kelli Richards. I'm CEO of the All Access Group and host of All Access Radio. I've spent over 20 years creating innovative alliances in the music industry and driving the convergence of music, entertainment, and technology among record companies, tech companies, and established artists. Tonight's guest is a well-known recording artist, television star, and the founder of StageIt, which we'll talk a lot about tonight. As half of the pop rock band Evan and Jaron, Evan Lowenstein scored 3 top 40 hits. As a television writer and producer, Evans worked with Fox, MTV, and Nickelodeon, and hosted Character Road Trip on the USA Network for 4 seasons. And most recently, Evans combined his passions for technology and music to create StageIt, a web-based platform that enables performers to produce live, interactive experiences while offering fans what he calls a front row seat to a backstage experience. He's also appeared on Leno, The Today Show, Regis and Kelli, MTV, and Jimmy Kimmel, among others. Please welcome Evan Lowenstein.
Hi, thank you.
I feel like you've lived 9 lives. Before we talk about StageIt, which I think is an amazing, and I would say revolutionary concept, let's just go backwards for a minute and touch on your success with Evan and Jaron if we can. You've toured with an amazing number of great artists like Sting and Maroon 5, the Dixie Chicks, and Heart, among many others. How has all of that contributed to your passion and perspective for the music industry as a whole?
Well, I've been a recording artist for many years, touring since 1993. So clearly, if you're doing it as long as I have been, there's certainly a level of passion. But specifically for me, I feel like I lived through I got a chance to see the industry from 93 till now has changed significantly. And, that's when I started to take a deeper interest on the business side of things as I witnessed this music revolution where flat rate, unlimited content, and pay-per-view song models were no longer the only viable options. So I realized as an artist myself that there were some untapped needs, if you will, that new content business models and revenue strategies needed to address. So I think that, it's a tremendous passion watching my fellow artists. I feel like I entered the business as an artist, lived through all these changes, and then at some point just said, hey, I'm going to step up. I felt like there was an open lane to do something, and I felt like, nobody was from a business standpoint, but certainly I'm first and foremost an artist, and music is tremendously at the heart of everything I do. I'm very passionate about it. So.
And what was the motivation then, as you say, if you can expand on that for a minute, to move from being a touring artist to launching a tech company?
No, I think I think all artists to a certain extent are entrepreneurs. They create something from nothing. They have a tremendous amount of passion and drive, for what they do. And I often say that a band is the ultimate startup. So, as you mentioned, as we were just talking before, this is definitely not, my first entrepreneurial adventure, and I really wanted to try some other stuff. But I've always had a passion for technology, and creating StageIt really allowed me to leverage the entrepreneurial skills and combine that passion for music as well as, technology. But I think the sort of the personal motivation came from, trying to find a way to further connect with my fans in a way that wouldn't devalue me as an artist while extending my reach to fans that are not based in California where I live.
Exactly.
And then I sort of realized, I was first started out doing this for myself, and then artist upon artist would say, hey, I got an issue as well. I can't afford to tour. It's so expensive to tour.
Right.
And if you can help us out here, help us out. And so that's where it really was born out of that. But it was very much born out of a very personal. I could certainly relate to the ability that touring. I might have had a couple hundred fans in different markets, and it was just economically not feasible to hit them.
No.
And I felt like I don't want to say this the wrong way, but I really felt like I was the perfect person to go into to run with StageIt. Having, like I said, I spent a lot of time with technology companies, and I felt like they just didn't quite get us artists, so to speak. And I spent a lot of time in the music industry, and I felt like they had thrown their hands up and were not going to be building anything anytime soon that was going to help, fellow artists.
Yeah, as someone who's tried to be a human bridge between those two worlds and translate both languages for a very long time, I can relate to that observation.